Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jazz Talk, my favorite segment of the show, where I interview local jazz musicians. This week we have Piper. Piper, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So first of all, tell the audience just a little bit about yourself, what you do here, what you play, and stuff like that.
Okay. I'm Piper Fowler. I'm based here in Amarillo, Texas. I grew up in Oklahoma for most of my life, but I moved here about a decade ago now. This is my 5th year at WT. I do quite a bit of piano for the school. I played for the orchestra for the past couple years. I play for the symphonic band, the concert band. I've played for the jazz bands before. I think I've accompanied almost every single studio on campus. Just a few are missing. I played for the horn choir, percussion ensemble. Yeah, lots of accompanying.
Yeah. Awesome, yeah. So obviously you play piano. How long have you been playing the piano for?
I started piano lessons when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
Almost 2 decades now.
That's crazy. Yeah. And then, of course, piano is a huge part of jazz. So when did you first start playing jazz?
So I first started playing jazz my freshman year of high school. I had really never even paid attention to it before. Our jazz director needed a pianist, so he got me started into it, and I've been a part of something jazz related ever since.
Wow, yeah. So how did you figure out about jazz? Obviously you said it was in high school, but what made you be like, wow, this is interesting, this is something I might want to do?
Yeah, so he asked me to join the jazz band, and I did, and we played a lot of fun standards, and one of my favorite things in high school that Mr. Myers would do is he would have listening days with us all, and that's where I really started to realize, jazz is awesome.
I see.
Yeah.
That's awesome, yeah. And obviously you're a big classical player. That's what mostly piano is. So does the way you think change a lot when you're playing classical music compared to when you're playing in a jazz setting?
Yeah, I would say my mindset's completely different when I play jazz. I know being classically trained is pretty rigorous. There's a big emphasis on perfection and style, but when I play jazz, I feel like I can be a lot more free. I don't feel the pressure. I don't feel like it has to be memorized or like it has to fit anybody's standards. It's a really good form of self-expression for me, I'd say.
I see, yeah. So I know the sheet music looks kind of different compared to when you're reading, accompanying someone and compared to jazz. Can you kind of tell us, for the audience that doesn't really read sheet music, especially for piano, can you tell us a little bit about what the difference is between the two pieces of paper that you see?
Yeah, so a lot of times my jazz sheet music is pretty messy. I'm kind of just making out chords. A lot of times I just look at the chord symbols and I kind of ignore whatever's under it because it can be so messy. It's very different, yeah. I know with classical piano, it's just usually much cleaner unless you're reading a really old score, but jazz is kind of hard to read at first, but it gets easier the more you do it. I know the first couple times I had to read a jazz chart, I just could not do it. It definitely took me a few tries, but it's pretty different, but definitely readable after doing it for so long.
Yeah. And then what are some of your favorite jazz artists, and why are they your favorites?
In terms of standards, I guess I like Duke Ellington a lot.
Okay,
Yeah. I know one of my favorite jazz songs, Mr. Myers showed it to us in high school, is Midnight in Moscow. I think Kenny Ball and his Jasmine or something wrote that. That's one of my favorites. I like playing Misty too, as most pianists do, I'm sure. We try to play that a lot at the gigs.
Yeah. I see. And these songs that you mentioned, what exactly obviously you said a song you listened to in high school. What made it stay in your mind for so long?
I think it's really groovy compared to a lot of the standards. It's I know you can't play it right now, but it's dun 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 dun. It's just really fun, and I especially like jazz stuff that kind of has a more romantic touch. I know Frank Sinatra, if you consider him jazz, he actually has one of his songs. I can't remember what it's called, but it's In the Dusk of Evening, and it's after a Rachmaninoff song. So I really like it when it has that classical touch to it.
I see, yeah. I know we're talking about subgenres a little bit, but is there specific subgenres of jazz you really either enjoy listening to and enjoy playing, if they're the same or completely different?
What kind of subgenre?
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know. I guess the slower stuff, I'm not very good about genres, but I know that when I play fast stuff, I do get a little more stressed out. I feel like I can't improvise as well. I like the slower paced things for sure. Yeah.
I see, yeah. And then What are some role models you have in the world of jazz?
I don't know. Honestly, probably just some of my peers. I see how much they do for it and how much fun they have, and I really look up to that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, my peers and faculty more than really any celebrity, I'd say.
I see. So obviously, when you're learning a piece, obviously you play a lot of music all throughout the week. How do you get into the mind space, and what exactly do you do to prepare for a certain jazz chart or just a certain piece you are learning?
Yeah, so my approach with like classical music and jazz music is pretty different. I know with classical piano, I try to get 5 to 6 hours every day just because it's so hard to master like all of the proper techniques and voicing and stuff like that. But with jazz, it kind of just depends who I'm playing with. Sometimes in my personal time, I'll just read some charts for fun and mess around with it. I know a jazz combo I'm in will meet up once a month, sometimes even less. Like the preparation process is definitely a lot less for jazz. It's much more free, it's much more fun, much less rigorous for sure.
Is there a certain piano player that you try to replicate your sound off of?
So she's not a jazz pianist, but my favorite pianist is definitely Valentina Lazista. She's Ukrainian. She has just one of my favorite touches. One of my favorite artist to play is Rachmaninoff, even though it's not jazz, so I do try to replicate her, but I still think about her playing when I play jazz, just the firm touch, the voicing, everything about it. Most of my pianists that I look up to are classical, like Lang Lang, Valentina Lazista, Vladimir Ashkenazy is a great one. Just their voicing and the way they play the music, it's just so beautiful and whimsical, and
I see. Yeah, awesome. And then I know we talked a little bit beforehand about gigging around the area. Can you tell me the story about your first ever gig and how you were feeling when you got asked and how it felt when you were at the gig?
My first gig. I guess outside of high school, oh my gosh, I can hardly remember my first gig. I know when I was first in a jazz combo at WT, it was pretty stressful to find a group, and I definitely used to be super nervous. I would never take solos. I would kind of just comp chords in the back. It definitely took just making friends within my combo to really become good at improvisation. I honestly don't remember my first gig, but I do know that I've come a long way since when I first started gigging, for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And what's the coolest gig you've ever been a part of? What's one that immediately comes to mind that's like, I wish I could experience this over and over again?
Okay, yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I think one of my favorite gigs I've done so far, it was actually at the Drunken Oyster with some of my friends. I just really like the stage there. It's a lot smaller than like the one at the Western Horseman. It's easier to be like more intimate with each other, I guess. And I think we all just locked in together really well. We could really listen to each other, and it was just really fun. And it's especially fun like when you can tell the audience likes what you're playing and they're vibing with it for sure. And I just really like the vibe there. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. And then when did you realize that performing jazz and gigging was something you really enjoyed doing and kept wanting to do it?
I mean, probably really when I got to college. I was definitely nervous at first, but I had so much fun doing it with my friends that I just wanted to keep coming back, and that's why I've stuck with it for so long, even though it's not really my primary training. But yeah, it's really fun to make music like that, and it's also fun to get away from like the stresses of classical music and recital preparation and lesson preparation. It gives you a chance to be musical on your own without the pressures of like your professors and things like that, and I really like it.
I see. Yeah. And then, do you have any advice for someone that's wanting to pursue gigging in the future and wanting to get out there and just start playing around the area?
Yeah, for me, I play a lot, and honestly, it's kind of just by saying yes to as many things as I can. Like, a lot of these gigs I didn't want to do, not just jazz, but in general, but it gets your name out there, and if you do some of the things you don't want to do, then people will ask you to do a lot of things that you probably do want to do. And
I see.
Yeah, if you can just do as much as you can, you never know when you'll get to play again, too, after you graduate, so, you know, you might as well just do it all while you're here.
So do you see gigging as a bigger part of your future once you leave WT and start trying to go out there in the work and just trying to find different gigs to do, find different groups?
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely like it to be. I'm sure I'll find some sort of job in accompanying. That's kind of what I do the most, but I would love it if I could find a close group of friends like I have here wherever I go to next and be able to gig with them.
I did want to talk about accompanying quite a bit, because you obviously, like you said at the beginning, you do a lot of it.
Yeah.
How did you start getting into that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think my very first accompanist gig, I was a freshman in college, and a clarinet player and a cello player asked me to accompany a duet they were doing. So I played it for them in one of their lessons, and ever since then, like, I think it kind of got out, like, oh, Piper does accompanying gigs, and I kind of just started saying yes to as many as I could after that. When I first started it, I was definitely pretty bad at it.
Okay.
It's pretty different than playing like by yourself or with an ensemble. It's much more intimate. You can hear the piano a lot better in those situations, so you really have to be on top of it. But yeah, I just started doing small things like seminars and studio classes or like vocal methods. I would accompany that. And then I started doing bigger things like recitals and such. And yeah, now it's kind of a job for me. I make most of my money off of that. I'm able to pay off a lot of college with that. So
that's awesome.
It's really great.
So how's the kind of the process of learning these music? Because I assume you go throughout the whole week trying to have different rehearsal times with different people. So you have all these different pieces you're trying to learn at the same time. How do you separate each practice time, and then just how do you do it? How do you learn all these pieces to be ready for either recital or studio and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it really depends on the piece. Like, I know with my personal recital rep, I have a pretty strict plan that I like to go by. Dr. Bomi actually showed us this in one of our seminars. He likes to, like, dissect his music by, like, red, yellow, and green sections. So I started doing that with my piano music, and it's very helpful. So I kind of like to go in with a plan of, like, I'm going to work on the hardest part today and try to get that better every day, and then work on the green parts just a little bit. With accompanist music, it kind of depends how hard it is. I know for a lot of the high school stuff, like solo and ensemble, for example, a lot of this music I've played before, so I'm able to put it off longer and kind of just refresh it when I need to. For recitals, it's a little different. I'll try to scooch in like 30 to an hour of it every day, just depending on how heavy the recital rep is. But yeah, I would say that like the accompanist music definitely isn't as hard to learn as the personal repertoire.
I see. So throughout a normal week for you, how many songs do you have just like ready to practice throughout the day? Because I assume you're obviously getting ready for auditions for different things. You obviously, people are asking you to help them with recitals, especially in spring when it's a huge recital semester. How many pieces at a time are you playing or learning?
Mixed with everything I'm doing, like band, accompanying, stuff like that. Definitely over 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
yeah,
crazy.
It's a lot. But it's manageable if you can schedule it correctly.
Okay, so. I see. And then obviously for playing piano with a soloist, you're kind of helping the soloist out a lot.
Yeah.
So how kind of is that process of being like, okay, I'm trying to help the soloist out, I'm following their tempo, or do you try to control a little bit? Do you try to how do you help out the soloist as much as you can?
Yeah. So it's kind of different with each instrument. I know like when I play with string players, I tend to go half stick on the piano so it doesn't overwhelm them. And really it's just about interpersonal communication. You want to be in a position where you can make eye contact with whoever you're accompanying, and a lot of it's just breathing together and placing together. Yeah. I kind of just adjust my playing based on each instrument. I tend to play a little lighter when I'm going with vocalist or strings. And of course, if I'm playing with like a low brass, I'll be a little bit more intense with my playing. But it's really just about personal communication. As long as you're just really locked in with the other person, it can work out great.
I see. That's awesome. Yeah. Who is an artist, dead or alive, that you wish you could perform with?
An artist. Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I've never been asked this before. I mean, there's so many good ones. I know one of my favorite symphonies is the London Symphony. In terms of composers, I really like Lau Lieberman's music. He's a modern composer. He still makes music today. He has a piece called Gargoyles that's really interesting. He has two piano concertos that are really great. I think it'd be fun to collaborate with another pianist like that.
I see.
Especially one who makes music that's so different.
I see.
It'd be pretty fun.
Yeah. So obviously, a lot of people wish they could perform with artists, but also, what are some dream pieces that you wish you could just play with, like an entire? Say you got the New York Symphony to play with you. What's some dream pieces you have?
Okay. Well, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is piano concertos. I know, like, Rachmaninoff's third piano concerto is, like, the Mount Everest of piano concertos. I mean, that would be a dream piece of mine, but, like, a decade from now, when I'm a little more experienced. I love that piece. One of my dream pieces is Rachmaninoff's second piano concerto. I recently played that for the concerto competition, the first movement, and it's one of the most beautiful, in my opinion, pieces ever written. So I'd say those Rachmaninoff concertos are some of my dream pieces.
I see.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I did want to talk about the concerto competition a little bit, because you did get second place. Is that correct?
No, I didn't place this year.
Okay, but the previous.
Yeah, I got third place.
That's what I'm thinking of. So how do you prepare for such a big thing like that when you have so many eyes on you about this huge competition? How do you mentally prepare for that and then physically prepare for that? Yeah.
So I know the first year I did it, I played Warsaw Concerto, and that piece is quite a bit easier than the Rachmaninoff. A lot of listening, I guess. I try to listen to as many interpretations as possible, and I'll kind of pick and choose things from each one that I like. Something that really helps me, especially when I'm playing a super romantic piece like that, is putting lyrics with the chords. So a lot of times I'll sing while I play, obviously not super loud, but I always have lyrics that are going when I'm playing something super melodic like that. It's the same with the Rachmaninoff, and it makes the memory a lot easier too if you have something else to kind of visualize with it. The hardest process for me personally is just memory. It's so hard to memorize pieces that are that long. I just use a lot of theory to do it, like a lot of harmonic analysis and stuff like that. And playing by ear is a big one too. Even if I kind of don't know my music super well, I try to make out a lot of it by ear because it just helps me play it better in the long run. My hands know where to go better instead of kind of just this muscle memory thing that I can tend to have going on a lot.
I see. Yeah. And then next question I have for you is, if you could take the playing ability or the writing ability of any artist ever, who and why would it be them?
Rachmaninoff.
On the playing ability?
Yeah, he was a great pianist. He had massive hands, and we still have a lot of his recordings available today. Like, you can listen to him play all 4 of his piano concertos. Well, technically 5.
Yeah.
I love his writing. Really, not even just out of pianists, just out of composers in general. It's just really thick and luscious, and something I really like about his piano writing is that even though it's just piano, a lot of it is so like complex and beautifully written. It almost sounds like the piano's playing with an orchestra when it's just piano, because he has so much like harmonies going on. It's really great. I'm always in awe of his writing, and there's just so much to unpack when you play some of his music too. It's really rewarding when you can work on it so hard and then play it correctly.
Yeah. When you're improvising, what exactly is going through your mind?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the piece. I know when I play faster stuff, I can tend to get a little bit random with it just because I can't get my brain to think that fast. But we did a jazz clinic here a couple years ago, and I can't remember who did the clinic, but he said something. It was like a triangle method, and it's basically where you pick like 3 notes that are in the key, and you kind of stick to those notes and do different patterns and stuff with them. So I try to do that a lot, especially if I'm stuck on like a passage and I just don't have any ideas. I'll just pick 3 notes and kind of go back and forth between them and stuff like that. A lot of times I'll just quote my classical music in my improv. Like, I know, especially since I've been playing like the Rachmaninoff so much, I've quoted it quite a few times in these past gigs. But just stuff like that. It's kind of fun to hear how it sounds in like different settings and in different keys, stuff like that. Yeah, or I'll just try to mimic like what the drum set player is doing or something like that.
That is one of the things I did think about that piano players would do, is since you, like you said earlier, you're playing 30 pieces, you're learning 30 pieces at the same time throughout your week. Do you ever find yourself being like, wow, this little section of this piece I'm learning would fit perfectly in this solo section? Do you find yourself doing that a lot?
Yeah, I actually do that a lot. I know in some of our jazz combo rehearsals, I'll start twiddling with some of my classical pieces and like trying to put it in the keys and stuff, because some of it really does mix so well together, and it's fun to hear classical music mixed with jazz like that. So I try to quote it when I can.
I see. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Why do you think jazz and people's emotions have such a close connection to each other?
I don't know. I know for me, like, the reason I love jazz is because I said earlier, like, I just get to be in a much less stressful environment when I play. I love playing piano. I love creating on piano, and it's nice to do it with, like, other people. It's just so chill, too, you know? Like, you don't have to go through an aggressive preparation process with a lot of these jazz gigs. You kind of just meet up and jam out, and it's really fun. And I know for me, like, that's why it's just so fun and personal. And you can be more personal with it, too, because of, like, the improv part, just the freedom, really. It's so much different than classical, and I think that's at least why I personally have an emotional connection to it.
I see. Yeah. And then what is one of your favorite memories relating to jazz?
Let's see. I don't know. I think some of my favorite memories like that were kind of in high school with my jazz gigs. Those were always fun, just because that's what first got me into it. And I would mess up a lot at those gigs, but I had super fun at them. I think one of my most favorite recent ones, we were at the Western Horseman, and we were playing like a really kind of dirty jazz song, people started dirty dancing on the floor of the Western Horseman. That was pretty fun to watch. It's fun when the audience gets involved like that. It makes it a lot funner for the players as well to kind of see everybody's reactions to it. So that was one of my favorites so far. And I especially like the ones, like, sometimes I know we did a gig in like Wellington Square, and you can get like a lot of cool stuff at those gigs. Like, I know we got fed like steaks, like ribeyes for free with potatoes and stuff. It's like, this is awesome. Just to like have fun and play.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. And then how has jazz affected your playing? Has it either improved your playing in certain areas, or did it just do something differently for your personal playing?
I think for me, it kind of helps my ear training a lot, for sure. I catch myself trying to mimic stuff, and I think a big thing that it's helped me with technique-wise, is that I'm a lot less tense when I play jazz. A lot of times when I play classical music, I can get really tense because I'm trying to remember and think, and I'm scared because people are watching. But with jazz, in a way, it kind of puts on more pressure, because it's like you're kind of just coming up with this on the spot in front of people. But definitely doing that, like, just after a couple times, makes me a lot less tense in general performing in front of people. So I think it's helped with like stage fright, for sure.
I see. Yeah. And then why do you think it's important to listen to live jazz when you get the chance to?
I think it's important to listen to like really any form of live music when you get the chance to. We're so glued to our phones, and a camera audio, it just can't pick up like what a live performance can do. It's just not capable of it. And, you know, it's always great to get out with people and have fun. And these jazz gigs are super fun, you know, like, you're not just listening, like, you can talk with friends and enjoy and dance and sing. It's really enjoyable. And I think that's the good thing about live performing, is just getting out of the house and connecting with people on a more personal level outside of the phone screens. And, of course, the music just sounds so much better in person, too.
Of course, yeah. That's awesome, yeah. And then obviously, as you said earlier, you perform a lot. Have you ever had a time when you had to perform while being sick or exhausted? If so, how did you get through it?
Yeah, so actually my last piano recital, I did it a year ago now. It was last February. I had the flu and a 103-degree temperature when I did that recital.
Wow. Yeah.
For me, I did think about canceling it because I was pretty sick, but I decided I had worked so hard on it, and if I would have taken a sick week and then the symphonic band would have done their thing, I would have had to take more time away, so I decided to push through. I had a water bottle on stage, and my friends told me I should have been like a Dasani ad or something like that, because they could see my logo every time I took a drink. But yeah, that was definitely the sickest I've been while performing. But honestly, I didn't really notice I was sick besides my throat while I was performing. Yeah. I did have a few little coughing episodes on the side. But yeah, I mean, if you get lost in the music, you kind of forget stuff like that. It's another reason I like playing so much. Yeah. It's just an escape.
That's awesome, yeah. So you said you've been playing piano since you were 4 years old. How have you evolved musically over all these years?
Okay. I've evolved a lot, definitely. Even since just my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
I know when I was 4, I just a big thing that helped me actually when I was 4 is my piano teacher made me do flashcards before I could even sit at the keys. I had to memorize all the notes on the staffs, and that definitely helped me. But I'd say when I was younger, I had a very technical approach. Like everything had to be perfect. My wrist had to be at the perfect height, this and that. But I wasn't really thinking about like the musicality aspect of things. I was just thinking about like how fast can I play this and how good can my technique be. And then I got to college, and my professor here really helped refine my technique a lot, and she helped me think about things a lot more musically. Like, really, I'd say I didn't even start playing beautifully until I came to college. You just have to think about the music in a really different way, and you kind of have to have something to compare it to. Like I said, like I usually have lyrics going in my head when I'm playing something, or sometimes I'll even have like a movie scene or something in my head, just something to put the music to, and that's definitely where my musicianship has personally evolved the most, is just how I think about the music when I'm playing it.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Personally, what is the best type of musicians to perform with?
Probably chill and relaxed ones. I love playing with my jazz combo because they're just all great people. You know, they're really friendly, and if you mess up, it's no big deal. I can be pretty uptight myself sometimes with like piano and everything, but at the end of the day, like just being chill and calm, it's so fun to work with people who are just open like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And then how do you communicate musically with other players while performing live?
We kind of just look at each other a lot. I know, like, in our jazz combo now, our trombone player, James, he'll just turn around and he'll be like, hey, we're going to trade fours or something like that. He'll kind of talk to us while we're playing. And I really like that, especially because I can get confused kind of easily. It's this is nice. Sometimes it's just verbal communication like that. A lot of times we'll, like, look at each other and kind of do a head nod or something like that. Just being in tune with each other, really.
I see, yeah. And then what has been your favorite ever set list that you've played before? And what were some standout charts for you in that set list?
Like in terms of jazz? Honestly, I really love the Christmas ones.
Okay.
I know we did a Christmas gig at, I think it was like it was some bank center in Amarillo. And I really like the jazz twist on a lot of those Christmas tunes.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that's just so fun because it's such a nice time of year. I think those are my favorite set lists, to be honest, the holiday ones.
I see. Awesome. Yeah. And then this next question, how do you think technology has impacted jazz a lot? I know you play piano, and piano is not very an easy thing to transport, especially, you kind of have to take your electric piano everywhere.
Yeah.
But obviously, synth jazz has gotten really popular, synth piano. So how do you think technology has impacted jazz?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed it, and it's changed a lot of things, too. It's changed percussion. I'm sure it's changed piano, although I've never really played, like, an electronic piano solo, but I'm sure they exist. I think it's kind of fun to mess around with the different sounds on a piano, depending on which one you have. I know even in my personal practice, like at home, I have a little electronic piano, and sometimes I'll just turn on the honky-tonk sound because I want to hear how Rachmaninoff sounds honky-tonk, you know? Just stuff like that. I think it gives a lot more different sounds and colors and stuff like that that can be really interesting. Although I do love a good acoustic piano as well. Yeah. You can't beat that.
yeah, of course. Like I said a little bit ago, synth is getting really popular with jazz. I know earlier in the year we had Sean Vokes on, and he loves to use the synth on his jazz charts. Have you ever experienced or experimented with synth when playing in a jazz setting, or even thought about doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really gotten to experiment with it much. As of right now, my electric keyboard that I use isn't even mine. It's actually one of my roommates, and it just has a couple different sounds on it, like a voice sound and stuff like that, but nothing that I can really use live at the gigs, and it would sound good. But I would like to experiment with the synth someday if I had access to one.
Yeah, of course, yeah. What challenges do jazz musicians face today that older generations didn't have to deal with?
I don't know. I know for me, I feel like one of my biggest challenges is just deciding what I want to play when I'm playing with my combo. Improv can honestly be kind of hard. Like, it's fun to mess around with it, but a lot of times I'll finish a solo and I'll look at the audience and it's like, oh, that wasn't good. So I think that's kind of a challenge for me. I'm not sure, like, how it compares in the past. I feel like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how gigging worked in the past and stuff like that. I'd say now it's actually pretty easy to get gigs, as long as you just ask around a lot and know enough people. You can definitely get in at some places. I'd say it's like pretty accessible for most people to get into jazz if they really want to. A lot of places love to have students come play. So
yeah. Besides music, what else inspires you?
Let's see. I guess movies. I think about movies a lot when I'm playing, actually. Like, a lot of times, some of my music will remind me of a movie scene, and I kind of have that playing in my head. I am pretty music-based, though. It's a big part of my life, so a lot of my inspiration does come from just my fellow musicians and artists and stuff like that. But really anything in the arts I can find inspiration from, like whether it's paintings, movies, stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. What is the best advice you have ever gotten relating to music?
Best advice? I don't know. I've received a lot of good advice over the years, for sure. I guess one of my favorite things is one of my old professors told me to play as much as I can while I'm in college, because I don't know when I'll be able to play again. So I think a lot of people can kind of be baffled when they find out how much I play, but that's kind of why I do it, because it's like, I really don't know if I'll get to play and stuff like this when I get out. That's why I try to do it as much as I can, and I think it's been really fulfilling to fulfill that advice. I've gotten to make a lot of good friends through playing and meet a lot of great people, and it makes you a better player in the long run too, just having experiences with these different studios and stuff like that. I'd say, that's the best advice I've gotten so far.
Awesome. Yeah. And the last question I have for you is, what advice do you have for up-and-coming jazz musicians?
I guess I'd say just do it. If somebody asks you to be in a jazz combo, try it. It's really fun. It can be a little intimidating at first, playing in front of people, especially if you're new to jazz. But it's totally worth it. If you get a chance to do something like that, definitely go for it. It's fun. You get to make great memories, play good music, and you usually get paid out of it too. It's really just all wins. And if you mess up in the long run, like, nobody really cares. It's just a fun little gig. So just go for it if you get the chance.
Awesome. Yeah. And then this next little segment I like to give to all my guests to kind of just promote anything they want to promote, or just shout out anyone they think that deserves a shout out. So take it away. The moment is yours.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people at the school who deserve a shout out. I don't know.
Do you have any performances coming up that you want to shout out?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I have I don't have dates planned yet. I have a percussion recital on May 3rd, and I'll have a piano one coming up in late March. And I should be playing the first movement of the Rachmaninoff Second Concerto with the symphonic band at their last concert.
Awesome.
So those are some fun performances. And then I know, like, some of my piano peers and percussion peers have some awesome recitals coming up that people should check out if they get the chance. All really good music. So.
There we go. Awesome. Yeah. And the last thing is, I like to ask all my guests to recommend one song to be added on the Jazzy Fridays playlist forever. What song would you like to recommend today?
I would like to recommend The Entertainer by Scott Joplin.
There we go. It is a ragtime piece. And
it is.
Jazz originally was ragtime.
Yeah, so. I love ragtime.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Well, thank you once again, Piper, for coming on to the show. It was an honor having you. But yeah, and then all that's left is to take the Polaroid, of course, and post it. So if you want to check that out, make sure to check out Jazzy Fridays on Instagram to see what pose Piper decided to pick. So yeah, thank you once again, Piper, for coming on to the show. It was an honor. And thank you, everyone, for listening to Jazzy Fridays, only right here on KWTS 91.1 FM. We'll catch you all in a little bit.